Okay, today we're gonna discuss Flash Builder Professional, the way it looks, the program parts, pieces, the navigation, the workflow, basically everything that you have to know when you just start with a program. Sometimes it could be intimidating, especially Flash, but with Flex Builder everything was made sort of easier for graphic designers and for coders. Right here we have different views. Okay, first of all, let's create a new project. When the application runs, it has different options. We can create a Flex project, we can create a Flex library project, Flash professional project, which kind of strange that we can create it from Flex, but okay. Well, basically this one lets you integrate pieces in Flash professional with Flex. Or you can create ActionScript project. ActionScript project doesn't have a design view and it's purely code, like it's 100% based on code. Plus, along those projects we could create standalone components like XML application, XML component, item render, module, skin. Yes, we can skin components with this program, which is awesome. Because basically we can create our own graphics that look amazing, not just generic components. ActionScript file and class. Classes are very important. In my second lesson we're gonna discuss how to create a new custom preloader class. Okay, no, keep the current scheme and then show this message. I'm sorry, my computer doesn't like it. Okay, so basically CSS file, which most of web designers are familiar with, obviously, because we're using it a lot. Test case class, and test suite. Package folder. Package is very important that you put your components and item renders and packages, otherwise the program wouldn't like that. Folders are usually for the images, for custom fonts that you're using, and other elements like basically your assets. Okay, you can create also, you have the option to create file, which would be XML file or any other file, an extension that is not mentioned before. Okay, so let's get started. Let's create a Flex project. New project. Let's give it a name. IntroToFlex. So here, some things here you see, use default location. I'm gonna use the default one. By default, Adobe Flash Builder 4 usually puts it in users and username. In my case, Alex, that's me, and that's for Windows. Okay, here, application type. There are two types. Basically, the first type is web and runs in Adobe Flash Player, which won't run on certain mobile devices like iPhone, but we have that option here to create a desktop, and it runs on air, so basically it can run on any mobile device. Okay, web. We're gonna start with web. Use default SDK library. Currently it's 4.1. If you're integrating with lower versions of Flash Builder, the one I have is 4.1, you could select the previous version here, but we're not gonna do it, so we're gonna go with the default. And okay, this one requires Flash Player 10, which I have, obviously. Next, we're gonna use the bin debug folder as a default one. Next, and the project is created for us. Some other options here, we could use Emacs and Spark components. Spark components are the new ones, or just Emacs components only, which is strange, but okay, we have this option. Let's stick to the both components types, and here we could add project, add Swig folder, add Swig file. which is basically used when you add some files that are created in outside applications, like for example Flash Builder, Flash Professional. And here we're gonna use the default main source folder as source, and the main application file is gonna be basically this one, IntroToFlex. We're gonna stick with the default one and finish. Okay, the program created the first our first file in this application. What it has is the application tag here, opening, closing. The application has several properties: minimum width, minimum height, and here we have some declarations, but minimum coding here for now. Okay, here if we go into the design view, here we have this option to go into to work in code view or to go into design view. The design view is basically empty right now, but here on this side we have some things happening, like as we can put a title to a page, home, and we can also use control bar, which is by default here, but okay, we're not gonna use it. Style, appearance, let's change the background color to something nice. Yes, that will work. Okay, alpha and color. Here, preloader. Preloader is basically something that you see for a split second before this color loads. So let's set it to the same. Okay, perfect. Size the default, and layouts. I mentioned it in the lecture, in the tech lecture that we have with Flex 4. Now we have several options here: basic layout, horizontal, tile, and vertical layout. We're not gonna use any layouts, and let's put some elements here, so that to make it a little more fun. So what options do we have here in the components? We can put a button. Let's put a button here. Okay, button, click me. Perfect. Now I have a button here, and let's put a label here, and we're gonna display a label text here after the user clicks on a button. Okay. And let's change the color of the label to white, since we have sort of a darkish background. Arial is fine. Okay, and alignment, okay, it's fine. So basically what we can do with this, with the design view and the source code view, I could go into the source code. Look, here we have button and label. It appeared in the code, and because we haven't specified any layout, it's absolute. We're using absolute coordinates here. Here label has click me, the button has click me label, and label doesn't have anything text property. In fact, it doesn't even have text property. So let's put a text, empty text property here, empty string, and we're gonna make a welcome message appear after the user clicks on the button. So actually with Flex 4 the coding is made very simple for us. We can double click on a button here and change label, or we can right click and generate click handler. Yes, look at that, the program wrote all the code for us. And here we can actually make something nice happen with our label. In order to make that, we should give it an ID. Okay, there are two ways to give it an ID. First of all,